A school board in Southern California, Temecula Valley, fires its superintendent, Jody McClay, amid controversy surrounding the board's decision to pull curriculum discussing Harvey Milk, the first openly gay man to be elected to public office in California. The board president called Milk a pedophile for having a relationship with a 16-year-old. To talk more about this is Melissa O'Connor, co-founder of the Battle Cry. Melissa, welcome. Good to have you. So you were in Temecula for this. Apparently the superintendent's firing follows the board pulling a textbook that mentions Harvey Milk in kindergarten through 5th grade social studies classes. So what's the issue? Was the superintendent against this ban?
So the issue that has gotten national news is that the board voted not to include a curriculum that did not mention Harvey Milk in the student portion of the book, but in the teachers, what do you call it? I'm not a teacher, I'm sorry. Like the supplemental resources, teachers edition, where they could feature information to share with the kids, 1st through 5th graders, about Harvey Milk. And so the meeting was totally insane. And here at the Battle Cry, we did a deep dive on Harvey Milk, and you can learn all about what we learned about him at the battlecry_US. And we debunked the myth of Harvey Milk. And I would love to share with you what we learned.
Yes, go for it really quickly.
Okay, really quick. We learned that he had a 16-year-old boyfriend named Jack McKinley that he met in New York when Harvey Milk was in his mid-30s. So he had an affinity for teenage boys, and there are documents and records of those relationships all throughout. If you want to look for them, you can find them. And we also learned that he was killed by a fellow Democrat over a land use issue in Dan White's district. That was his assassin, who also killed the mayor, who was straight with 4 kids. So Harvey Milk was not a gay rights martyr as the left has painted him to be, and he's no leader for our children. We should not be glorifying him or having a Harvey Milk Day, and that's what parents showed up to protest about.
Yeah, and one of the teachers quoted by a local news outlet saying that teachers are required by law, by state ed code, to teach the California state standards, and those standards include civil rights legislation for all people. And so there's a brief mention of somebody who fought for those civil rights, and that's why they're upset about it. So what's your response to her? That's a teacher saying this.
Well, my response, so the teachers are the peddlers of the cult. If they're not pushing back on what's coming down from the Department of Education in California, then they're the last barrier. But what we saw, you're playing clips from the meeting, I was sitting right next to all this screaming. Everybody is supporting this propaganda being pushed on our children. So the gender ideology cult wants to expose trans theory and homosexuality to young kids at a young age, and they're not old enough to learn about that. But most of the people who showed up last night were all for that.
Yeah, it looked like parents were there protesting really on both sides, but it seemed like many were in support of the superintendent, who was ultimately fired. But the details and the exact reason why she was fired, I guess, is not evidently clear, but it did come after this Harvey Milk controversy.
Yes, that's true.
So, well, the school district is now without a textbook for K-5 social study classes, so hopefully they can figure something out. They have an interim superintendent in the meantime. Melissa O'Connor, thanks for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.